Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Megan. I'm here today to tell you about something called natural nootropics. They are a particular interest to me because the practice that I work in prescribes a lot of opioids and amphetamines for folks struggling with cognitive, I want to say disabilities, but cognitive function, we'll say. So to start off, we're going to see what they are. So what are they? It's a term that's coined by Dr. Cornlew Gurga. It was coined in 1972, and he wanted to develop something that was natural. It enhanced learning and behaviors, and it made the brain resist harm. So he wanted to create something that resisted disruption from barbiturates and opioids, and also increase the efficacy of cortisol and subcortisol mechanisms. He coined this phrase right here: man is not going to wait passively for millions of years before evolution offers him a better brain. And again, he wanted to enhance learning and memory with our little guy over here, help brain function under disruptive conditions. So things like Alzheimer's, dementia are particularly of study, or were of study to him. So why are they important to us if they originally started out as being a drug for Alzheimer's and dementia? Why is it relevant? Well, mostly because we all are wanting to go on to higher learning, and we might need a little bit of help here and there. So what they do is they increase vasodilation in the brain. So they increase blood flow to the brain. That allows our synapses to function better. And of course down here, that lends itself to improved synaptic transmission. And they lack any kind of real sedative or toxic effect to the brain. So the things that I'm featuring today are natural. Nootropics, there are synthetics out there that a lot of scientists have come up with because they're a combination of a lot of different things. But I chose to feature the natural side of things today. So how do they work? How do they work in our brain? There's all these cogwheels and neurotransmitters in there. So first of all, some of them work in a dopaminergic pathway, particularly the mesocortical limbic. So they elevate that level of dopamine in the brain from the midbrain to the frontal cortex, and then finish in the nucleus accumbens. And this particular corticolimbic system will increase our mood. So increases that forward thinking, increases our neurotransmissions a little bit further. The other way that they work is in the cholinergic pathway. So they release acetylcholine into the synapse, and acetylcholine is responsible for memory and focus. So this is a acetylcholine producing system, and in turn it binds to the postsynaptic receptor and elicits a nice response for us. And then moving on, we'll look at some examples. So again, I went to the natural side of things over here. This is meant to represent the synthetic side. And one of the first ones I looked at was ginkgo biloba. It's known for that vasodilation in the brain and the neuroprotective abilities, and also reducing the apoptosis of mitochondria. So making sure that the mitochondria stay alive, they don't spontaneously combust, for lack of better terms, but they don't die. basically. Like any drug, there's known side effects to it, and some of them could be your upset stomach, nausea, and restlessness from those neurotransmitters reaching the synapses a little bit too quickly and causing kind of a nervous, shaky feeling. Not real common, but we have to say, like all the FDA regulations say, that it's a possibility. Our next one is Asian ginseng, a root herb here, used for a long, long time in Asia in tinctures and natural medicine. This one is known to increase memory and suppress antioxidants. It was originally studied with Alzheimer's, like a lot of these were, and it affects the uptake of norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, and GABA. So norepinephrine, suppressing that anxious urge that we may have. Our dopamine, increase our mood. Serotonin, again, is another mood increaser. And then our GABA is kind of a depressant. It makes us a little bit more even keel. Again, side effects with this one. If you follow the functional dosage of it, not a whole lot, but these are some of them: the upset stomach, the diarrhea, the headache, trouble sleeping, excess energy, agitation, irritability, and allergies to them. Of course, there's always allergies to any kind of herbs that we look at. And then moving forward onto our next one, golden root or rhodiola rosea. This is a flower. It reduces fatigue and improves our mood. So it's a serotonin reuptake. It enhances our memory, learning, and cognitive function. Is also known for protecting our brain and increasing the level of norepinephrine and serotonin in the prefrontal and frontal cortexes. So that dopamine and acetylcholine in the limbic system. Side effects with this one: sometimes dizziness, sometimes dry mouth. So we see our little guy here, a little dazed and confused. Last but not least, I figured I would feature one synthetic. This was the one that was originally developed by Dr. Gergen and originally used to treat Alzheimer's. As you can see in this diagram, it's mostly made up of glutamate, a little bit of GABA, acetylcholine, catecholamine, and serotonin. So this is a combination one that he came up with in the lab synthetically. All of these are naturally occurring in certain herbs and plants, but he decided to take it one step further and do it in the lab. Side effects of this one are a little bit more. Could have some weight gain, restlessness, headaches, and sleepiness. Again, not really common, but we have to say it. And so, last but not least, I hope that you enjoyed my presentation. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And that is the end of my presentation. Except for, here's some references. This is where I got all this lovely information from. Mostly peer-reviewed stuff, but at the very bottom I found a little bit more knowledge on a website, but that's about it. Again, any questions, feel free to ask.